Welcome back to the channel, Gods and Goddesses in Training. It's Uncle Makaro. Let's get started today. Today we're talking all about time management, okay? So with time management, it's not necessarily you have to manage your time. It's more so you have to manage your health and manage your pain, okay? Because if you have a lot of health, if you have a lot of virya, if you have a lot of strength and courage, you can pretty much do anything, right? However, what happens is sometimes people give us a push or an urgency or a deadline, or we can't prioritize our needs. This is all coming from us having a bad relationship with time. Guess what? So time is associated with Mahakal, okay, and Mahakali. So understand that if you're ever working with Kala Bhairava, Bhairavima, or either of these beings, right? Ma Devi and so forth. If you're working with any of these beings, you are going to gain the time blessings, because they basically, what they do is they alter and they change your perception of time. So your subjective idea of time will make you work much faster, make you way more productive, right? So in a sense, once you have a different understanding of time, you can actually activate time a lot differently because you are perceiving it differently, okay? So when someone can take 1 hour to do something, you do it for 10 hours, right? And I think one of the reasons why people fail is they are inconsistent as well, right? So if you remain inconsistent, you do it sometimes and you're dabbling, it doesn't really create that internal feeling of being in the zone. And repetition taps you in, you know what I mean? So really get into it and start exploring this, because this is what is a relationship between you and your mind, okay? So your mental health will actually determine what you do with your time management. Now, what I like to do with my time management is I block things off on my calendar in hour slots, okay? Hour slots. I don't really need to take any breaks per se, okay? The breaks that I take, I'm working, okay? And I am taking self-care throughout that time. So if I need to splash water on my face, or I need to like stretch, or I need to do something with my energy, I allow myself to do it, okay? I don't shame myself. A lot of the biggest issues that people have is they've gone so much with the external world of the calendar, the scheduling, and what they're supposed to do, and being so attached to the idea that I have to wake up at this time, and if I don't, I'm gonna crumble, right? My whole system's gonna crumble. I would say take a break away from your corporate job, like take a break, do the mantras towards these specific beings, and I would say practice understanding that you can wake up with your own natural clock, okay? Try practicing at least for a day or 2 days. Just practice waking up to your natural clock. You will notice how different you feel and how better you get things done, actually. Because if you're not well rested, if you feel kind of sleepy and groggy and all this, you cannot get things done, man. In that state, it's very difficult to get things done. But if you are in this calm, kind of alert state of this alpha waves, right, and you can maintain this with your own energy, with maybe your... So depending on how throughout the day you are giving yourself energy, so it could be that you're caffeinating yourself to spike more beta waves in the mind, right? Beta brain waves in the mind, which is a lot more faster brain waves, okay? Or you could maybe, I don't know, some people drink alcohol, right? But I don't recommend that at all, because that will slow you down even further. And other people try to spike it using like 5-hour energy or like energy drinks and stuff like this, which is also not very good for you, right? But I've noticed, at least when I get into a physical activity, specifically something yogically related, it gets me rid of my fear, and so I don't hold that much resistance in my system, and then I can get more things done, right? And so this is what I've understood, at least. A lot of scientists will sell you some kind of time management course and program, and how you need to schedule it in this particular fashion. That stuff's, I think that stuff's a waste of money, okay? Personally, I do find value in understanding, like Ryan G sent this thing, it's like the way you strategize is different, right? So we found that as the adepts, we're more like prince strategists. We foster innovation, right? And we foster that sense of cooperation. Understanding that you are different to everybody, right? And you have your own way that you do things. But I want you to first of all connect to your internal clock. Wake up in the morning when you most naturally feel like it, okay? Go to bed when you most naturally feel like it. I want you to try to maintain and really create a smoothness, a rhythm for you that I can wake up, I can take my sweet ass time, okay? And you give yourself that and start noticing that you're actually getting your time management back. You'll slowly be like, okay, maybe I'll just finish this project because I'm just feeling so good, you know? And that's what you really need to focus on, is feeling good within the body. So number one is just double down on your health right now. Double down on your health and light candles and do intentions and set intentions in your space, in your container. Make sure that you engage and connect with that energy of time itself, or kal or kala, which is the void, right? Time itself. So really start to understand that once you have a good relationship with that, you will feel like you're so alive, bro. I swear to you. Because people who feel like they're out of time, they're dead. They're zombies, bro. They feel like they're dying, okay? They feel like they're dying. So let me just say this. If you don't want to feel like you're dying all the time, you got to give energy to these beings. I'm telling you, there is something invisible that happens with these powers that are harnessed. And I've personally found myself just changing my self-image in order to match my outcomes, right? So a lot of people are like, oh, I have goals, but those goals have nothing to do with their self-image or their character, right? And so you don't get what you want, you get what you are, okay? So you have to actually change the way that you see yourself. And how do you know? Your thoughts, words, actions, okay? The way that you're speaking to yourself, the way you're speaking to others, your belief systems and so forth. So write down your beliefs currently and then reframe them. And when you practice reframing them, make sure that you know that how effective is this, okay? How effective is this reframe? Is this giving me the energy and the intention that I want in order to move forward and get it done? You've also got to know that the urgency of the task changes based on what you call it, right? Based on what you've labeled it as. So if you're like, this is going to be a very long project, and you keep talking about how it's going to be a long project, and everywhere you go, right, it's just you're getting feedback and you're giving feedback in terms of this is a very long project. You're not going to get that project done. Okay, you're not. Because why? Because you keep perpetuating the fact that it's long. So you're creating the circumstances almost for this. You are the one in the driver's seat, my friend. You are the one in control. So the next time you think, you just call it a project, okay? Leave the long out of it, okay? No one needs to know how long it is, okay? That's TMI, okay? It's funny. But yeah, guys, you get what I mean, right? So time management is really how well you are handling your own system, okay? And usually it starts from the physicality and the health. So once we can amplify that, we start noticing I have way more time. And guess what? You start creating time when you feel like you have the power, the decision-making capability, right? And you do that by really going inwards and understanding the way that you speak to yourself and understanding your internal clock. And you start gaining the power back once you engage and energize with sending energy to Davey. And you know, it's just gonna speed up the process for you, man. You're gonna hop timelines super fast, and they won't even be able to recognize you and your productivity anymore. It's like, it's next level, bro. And let me just say, it's not the fact that you see a lot of things that we do in life sometimes it drains our soul, right? But you need to do things that feed your soul so that you have enough time to take care of what you need to take care of, okay? So that's the thing. If you're not feeding your soul, you're not going to feel energized. You're not going to feel inspired. You're not going to move, you know, and go do things. So it's like you have to understand that, yes, I'm going to get time blessings, from the mystical realm, but I'm also creating a time maintenance system for myself, okay? It's not a management. I'm not trying to manage time. I'm coordinating pockets of time that I give myself to give myself more time. And this is what we learned from one of our deities, okay, who was channeled. I think Hermes said this, actually, yeah. So he was saying that if you give yourself a block of time where time is out of the equation, you find more time again. So pockets of timelessness actually creates more time for you, if that makes sense, okay? And again, we want to do 1,000 different things at once, right? So if we can figure out a way that we can get the same energy from that task through another task, like sometimes it's just our needs that aren't being met through these tasks, right? So we have to figure out a way that it meets our core needs, that these tasks actually engage us with our journey, and it links us to our natural strengths, right? Something that we're naturally gifted with or talented in, you know? And so basically you're working around the energy of unknownness. So really think about this. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. Let's get it today. Upward spiral game.